Summon 4 and fighting Eikthyr isn't too difficult, but when you don't know how, it can be a headache, so let's show you how it's done. Firstly, I want to make some better armor. I currently only have leather pants at level 1 and a rag tunic. I could potentially defeat the boss with what I'm in, but it'd be more difficult than it needs to be. So let's start off by building a tanning rack so I can increase my workbench level and be able to upgrade my leather pants. I already have a wooden chopping block to take it to level 2, so we just need the tanning rack to complete the available upgrades we have right now. If there is anything in this tutorial that you're already unfamiliar with, please pause the video and go watch my ultimate guide to starting Valheim first. The link is in the description. So it looks like I need more leather scraps. It's a good thing I built this boar farm already. As we have more than 2 boars, we can afford to thin them out. To do this at this point in the game, click on the button here with the 2 swords. This will allow you to attack friendly creatures. Just remember to turn it back off when you are done. You can do this by simply clicking the swords once again. So I wasn't going to get enough leather scraps from my farm right now, so I had to go out hunting for more boar. At this stage in the game, it is a great idea to level up your bow skills by shooting the animals you would kill for food, along with a couple of greylings for good measure. It's also the perfect time to level up your sneak, running and jumping skills, as there are a few enemies that would be an issue for you if you were low on stamina from practicing these skills. As we don't have any room in the house for the tanning rack, let's put it outside. As long as the golden particles can reach the workbench, they can travel through walls, so that won't be an issue. Then it will work fine. I need more bones to upgrade my pants. That sounds weird to say. So I can gather bones from these structures, or I can venture into the Black Forest to find a bigger supply of them. Now technically the game wants you to defeat Eikthyr before you go into the Black Forest, as Hugin so kindly reminds us, but I do like to upgrade my armor at least once before going to do Eikthyr. It's all personal preference, but I prefer to have an easier battle and one where I'm less likely to die. I won't be going into depth about the Black Forest in this video, that will be for the next tutorial, but I will show you the easiest way to collect bones from the Black Forest, which is in front of these troll caves, and also taking out the skeletons from outside the burial sites. The skeletons are weak to blunt damage, so make sure you bring your club to smash them up. So now we have all the things I want, let's make myself a leather tunic, and let's upgrade that instead of those pants of mine. We can't upgrade the tunic any further, as we'll need to reach level 4 on our workbench to do so. If you really wanted, you could go all out and make yourself a set of troll armor. It's not necessary, but you'd be able to make it at this stage with a level 3 workbench. That will be something we will be covering in a later tutorial. I hope you've leveled up your bow skills by now, as the easiest way to defeat Eikthyr is by using fire arrows, so we will need to make some. They require wood, resin and feathers. If you want the best tips on how to collect feathers, check out my last tutorial video. As well as equipment, you'll need to make sure that you're properly fed. Depending on your play style and skill, different food will suit different players. I like to choose 3 health food, as I sometimes like to get up close and personal with the bosses, but I know others like to put all their stock into stamina foods. There isn't really a wrong way to do this. The best advice I can give is to see what you lack in terms of health and stamina when you fight other enemies. Having said this, a decent strategy that would be good for the majority of players would be have 2 health foods and 1 stamina food. The last thing you'll need to bring along with you are 2 deer trophies to sacrifice at the altar. It may also be useful to bring supplies to be able to build a campfire, should you want to top up your rested bonus when you get there. When you arrive at the altar, it's good practice to scout around the immediate area to take out any mobs that may be about. They will join in the fight, and having more than one enemy coming for you at a time is just going to make things more difficult. I also highly suggest doing the battle in the daytime, as soon as you've woken if possible. That will help with visibility, and there also won't be so many mobs to contend with if they do spawn. So I'm just going to place my campfire down here so that I can get my rested bonus. If you really wanted, you could build a small shelter with a bed in it nearby, so that if you do die, you won't have to run all the way from your previous bed to get back to the fight. Just remember to interact with the bed to make sure you spawn from your new bed. Place your deer trophies in the hotbar and then interact with the altar to summon Eikthyr. They will spawn in randomly, but you can follow where they end up by watching where all of the golden flecks meet in the air. Once the boss has been summoned, it does not despawn until it's been defeated, so if you are having a hard time with the boss and you think you need more time to level up your skills, make sure to stay away from the area it spawned in. If you do die, the boss will regain health very slowly, so bear that in mind that if you take a long time to go back to fight it, the boss's health will be fully recovered. To make things even easier for you in the fight, you can place campfires all around the summoning stone with the hopes that Eikthyr will stand in them and catch itself on fire. Personally, I think if you're already using fire arrows, you don't really need to do that, but it may be helpful if you wanted to take on the boss with a melee weapon like an axe. As you can see, Eikthyr has 3 attacks. One is an AoE electrical attack, another is a front electrical attack, and the last one is a head swipe attack. All 3 are pretty simple to navigate. Just keep your distance as much as possible and don't stand in front of them, and you should be able to avoid most attacks. I will leave the rest of the fight in the video, as I know some people are best at visual learning. If you want to skip to the end of the fight, please skip to the timestamp displayed on screen. So now Eikthyr is defeated, we'll want to gain their power, which we can do so by hanging up their trophy on its Forsaken Stone. Now you may have noticed that not only did we pick up the trophy, but we also picked up hard antlers. If you're playing single player, make sure you pick up a total of 3. If you don't have 3, you've missed some. We will cover what these antlers are for in a later tutorial. When hanging the trophy, make sure to target the hook rather than the stone itself, as it won't work otherwise. Also, you need to choose the right stone, which is the one with the deer on. Once hung, you'll need to interact with the trophy again in order to get your power. In order to activate the power, for PC users, it's the F key by default. You get 5 minutes of this buff after each activation and a cooldown of 20 minutes, so it's best to only use the power to get yourself out of some sticky situations. Eikthyr's power reduces the stamina cost of running and jumping by 60%. Any other tips for beginners that you found helpful? Drop them in the comments. Want to see more in-depth tutorials like this one? Subscribe so you don't miss any new ones. If you're feeling extra generous today, support me on Patreon for $1 a month. You even get your name at the end of videos. The link is in the description. Have a great day. Bye!